I am Brenda Jean Power Medicine Woman from Medicine Woman Solution. And it's been an adventurous, what do you want to call it? Adventurous ride for me because I think I'll wait a few minutes to explain a few things. So every day I've been working out, walking, stretching, lifting weights, but moderate exercises. These aren't anything to say that for any reason. And I'm very mindful when you use your body in a certain way. And all I was doing was like a stretch like this, where you take and put them behind your back and you just kind of pull out and you breathe and you stretch. And then I got on the floor and did what's called a static stretch, where you do nothing, you just melt into the ground. And as I turned my head, and I'm always cautious because I have the spine is crooked. And so I haven't really, throughout the years, haven't really been working on building my neck muscles, but I need to for my posture. I need to. So I was slowly doing that and building up my neck muscles. And all I did was turn my head to the side and rest, went on to the other side. And then I thought something's not right. Something simply is just not right. And then if you've ever know what a pulse is, it's consistent. Okay. It's consistent. So as I'm consistently feeling, I'm like, wait, what is that? And it starts, now I've got it controlled only because it's a lot of drugs and the way I'm sitting. This, I shouldn't be sitting. I should be actually sitting back somehow. Getting all, but it's hard to reach my shit. But anyway. It's hard to use the right arm. It goes in the back of the neck. It's first how it started was in the middle of my spine, or I should say upper back, right at the spine, and it was just throbbing in such an extreme pain. But it would be like, okay, a little relief, a little relief, and then I went up to my neck, and then it's like, oh God, I don't want a migraine. And then the weirdest part is that it went from there to here, and then it just became this pulse. It's like when you're watching your heartbeat on a monitor. And it literally follows the same one over and over, to the point where I caused bruising just because I was trying to rub the pain, to stop the pain. I've caused bruising on different parts of my body. And this was Thursday night. Friday, I'm like, this is getting worse. Saturday, I couldn't get in to see a doctor, or no, I got to see a doctor. I can't tell you when now, but they said, oh, it's, we have to go in for CAT scan. And so I went in, got a CAT scan, and then I took the information, and the doctor just said, you just have to wait, here's some drugs. And she didn't give me enough, because she didn't know exactly how much what the pain was like. And so if you've ever had pain, I mean, I totally can see why my brother and my grandfather killed themselves. If you've ever had pain to the point where it doesn't stop, it does, you're on a train track, you know the train's coming and it's going to hit you in a minute, and you gotta move. And to the point where it was like, oh my God, and it's not my nature ever to kill myself. But man, you just want it to stop. I remember being pregnant and trying to go through labor pains. I'm just, give me a gun, just shoot me now. I can't do this. This pain was just too much. You know, you're going 19 hours in pain. It's like, oh my God. And so I can't tell you which one's worse. Pain is pain. And so this pain, like right now, It's doing the pulsating things. I'm on heavy drugs, 4 different kinds, and it's still not. But if you go into your mindset, it would drive you nuts. I mean, literally, it can make it worse. And you need to learn miter better to some degree in order to function. In the first few nights, without any medicine, because they didn't give me anything, I learned how to maneuver and to put myself to sleep and to actually get a few hours here and there. But that takes a lot of work, a lot of work. And then finally, like I said, I got to see the doctor. She gave me some medicine, and that just barely touched it. And I don't like drugs by any means, because I'd like to have a clear head. I like to be a clear channel. And I'm thinking, what is it I need to grow? I'm learning that you need this in order to grow. You understand. There's contrast is very important. And when you're working on deeper issues, you'll need to put yourself in a state to allow yourself to receive. So you're building, you're learning, you're growing. The chiropractor adjusted me. I was so tight. I mean, head to toe, all my muscles were tight. Everything's contracted. And I'm going to tell you, if you contract your energy, which is a pulling away, when somebody is about ready to go ballistic and you're like, when you have taught yourself that, no, don't bother, so you pull away. If all you do is ever pull away with your energy, your body's going to start to show it. And growing up as a very timid child, that's one thing I've always done. The right side represents the masculine side, the authority side, the ability to get action taken care of. And when you bump up to people that are not ready, you're going too fast, they can't handle you, and they tell you, and they basically have to have the authority or they're going to die, and you just fine. Okay. Throughout my life, it is started off is that I gave my power away. I don't want to do that anymore. It's like I just don't want to do that anymore. And part of my life theme, and I have to get all the information down on cards before I can really share this. And this is the life themes. Life themes, it is the outer part of your aura that represents the frequency and the color of life that you chose to come in to experience, which then filters through to your personality, which creates your personal reality. I missed a few steps, but I don't have time to teach all of that. And you have what's called the morphogenic field, which is in the middle of the aura. And it is your habits and your responses, your growth. And you need the contrast so you can see. If you didn't have contrast, you wouldn't know where to go, how far you've grown, to help shape who you are with your thoughts. So certain experiences are very, very important. I know that the beginning of this month, it's the yin is learning to come up. So we've had nothing but yang energy. And the yang energy has been, I'm not talking penis. I'm talking about energies. And it's got a property of putting itself out there. It's got to put it out there. That it had pulled, the yin had to pull away and the yang had to go by itself. And what happens is then you've got gaslighters. You have to have those people that are narcissists, those people that have to control everything, and the people that deny, let life go on and everything will be okay because I got away with it. You have, but now the card reading that I got to do at the first of the month was yin is coming, which means it has to come into balance. Now, 2021 is about unity. That is both halves coming together, finding the third option, finding that wisdom from both sides to create this balance. So I started to remember things about my mother. Now, I adore my mother. I love my mother. I'm not naive. I know that she has issues and she couldn't be there for me. She tried her best to be there for me. But if you're in a position where you can't receive that love, then it'll look like, you know, I'm thinking of a very specific time. So what happened was is that I'm like, what's going on? What is this all about? Why is this pain here? And this pain is really bad. I mean, you can't think, you can't function, you can't. I mean, it makes you want to throw up because the pain is so bad. It hasn't. If I didn't have drugs, I'd be passed out several times. I've gone that far with pain before. Um, see, like right now, I got a reprieve. Now I feel spirit downloading. That's a good thing. So as the spirit is downloading, and I can feel my core starting to vibrate out, the energy's out. It's stabilizing the physical nature that would be the hologram. Okay. So during this time, it's like, okay, what do you want me to learn? How do you want me to heal it? Whatever. Okay, downtime reset. I'm in a reset. So every from now on, 8 minutes for $23. Okay, that's the cost. Sorry, I'm in a reset. Um, to back this up, I am a generous person, but at the same time, I also know I was forced to be generous. And I remembered several things. So I says, Mom, I know there's something here because I can't reach out, literally. I know that something else is going on because none of this makes sense. So this is where you have to get out of your ego mindset. You can drive yourself to become very anal. And I know that want to set up classes so people can learn how to do spiritual investigation, have the right information and tools instead of just doing speculations and, constantly be asking questions and driving yourself crazy. Now, you can ask those with tools and you will become more in your spiritual alignment. The answers will not be, you're settling, you'll get, um, you're just getting more refined. So I understand, one, I needed to go through this in order to be able to give you the thing that spirit wants me to do. Now, my CT scans my left side at the collarbone, the main nerves that come out. The left side there is bone spurs, and that nerve by all rights should be in pain, which is the left side. Comfortable, nothing. The mystery is why the hell, and the x-rays show that the right nerve is perfectly clear, perfectly flowing, nothing impinging. But yet, all my pain is on my right side, and it is the nerve. Now, it's not the full pinch nerve where you get the numbness and the fingers. Now, I can do that all by myself by sitting wrong. That was the whole point of why I was correcting my posture. And if I happen to sit wrong and my neck is jouted out and pushed down, what will happen is that it'll pinch both nerves and I will feel it. And I'm like, oh, pins and needles. And so I have to readjust my skull, put it onto my body. and double chin myself in order to relieve the pain. And then it disappears. So um, I've not had that ever since I started to work on the spinous muscles. And so the mystery still is, and nobody understands it. And the one that's come closest to it, because the doctor says, no physio, no nothing. And yet I went to a chiropractor, they adjusted me. I felt my muscles stop being so contracted. Okay. So I've done uh, Egascos, Alexander, Feldenkrais. If you know these three names, it's all has to do with working with the body, front, back, left, right. Gravity, all of this. And which has given a lot of relief. I started to realign my hips, which means less pain in my pelvis and my right hip. But now it's up here. What do I want? This one or this one? Well, if I'm correcting my spine, then so be it. There's so many factors going on, so much information coming in, and to keep it all together, you just take little small notes. So I said, okay, what do you want me to metaphysically understand? They go, well, take a look at the fact that it is a nerve to some degree, but it's not doing the same thing. It's a mystery. It's the same pattern. It's the same. They know it. Okay. The physio says, I think it's more of a muscular pinching. Because if you look at, and he explained it to a T, by all rights, there is no way you have really got any pinched nerve when it comes to the actual bones and things that are causing the pinched nerve. Your left should have it. Too much bone. And everybody's like, I'm like, Spirit, you're sneaky. Okay. One, it helped me stretch to figure out, what do you do when you don't have hands, arms, and how do you heal your body? Two, there's got to be something deeper than just meridians. And so, and I love source point healing. They have introduced that to me, and I know that I can take care of a headache, migraine. We can do things, and the body can start to correct itself, get rid of GERD, your body. Now, but then there's the deeper ones. And that's where I'm at learning. So Spirit says, take that information. So when you're spiritual investigating, I always kind of remember what you were thinking and doing. Well, I couldn't remember. And I thought, I was stretching, I'm correcting. My intention is something very important, and that is to straighten up my spine and to have a posture. And I've always seen myself that once I hit a certain age, I'm actually going to be exercising, feeling, because people said, oh, when you get old, you have to break down and die. That's not my belief system. It never has. And so I know that's why my body, it's why I'm eating healthier, I'm moving more, I'm listening. I was basically preparing to grow younger as I got old, chronologically older. But we don't have to look at this as a bad thing. It's a mystery. So the pinched nerve is, oh, no, you don't. They're getting the saber rattling warning about not stepping over the line of self-commitment or self-manifestation. And I will tell you, I have had that challenge, because every time I've tried to self-manifest, I will see and it look like somebody smacks me down. Now, I know when I look at my zodiac, that had a lot to do with it. And as I look at it, as soon as I would see the green color coming, it'd be like, oh, shit. And I thought I had covered all the bases one time. And sure enough, boom, here I am, and it smacks me down. I'm not allowed to self-manifest. Somebody else's energy will tell me whether or not I can or cannot have. And I'm like, seriously. And this is part of that past life. It's part of the soul growth. It's a part of the belief system. It's part of when you get to the stage of gathering wisdom and you're done, not consciously, but every part of your is done. And you heal stuff out. Here is the thing. We are hardwired for joy. If that's not built up or connected, then all of your hard work sometimes can just go down the toilet. In the rush of the matter of things, Spirit has to immediately start this, do this. And so all weekend, all I've been doing has been studying about strange flows, radiant circuits, the 8 extra vessels, extraordinary vessels. And wow, I was on heavy duty drugs. I'm sitting outside with my husband trying to get some vitamin D. I know I can't sit out there very long because of the sitting. And my head was just going, I'm trying to eat and I'm trying to get the food in my mouth. And I'm like, this coordination, what's going on? And it's like, Spirit says, connect it up. I'm like, what the fuck? Just connect it up. And I'm like, okay, no. All right, I'm letting myself get lost into the misery, the pain, into the frequency of the low vibe. I'm still doing the show, right? My computer just took a shit.
Yeah, you're still live.
Whatever.
The computer? The iPad.
The iPad. Oh, there, it's back. Oh, I've been breaking things. Energetically, I have destroyed 2 of my hard disk, 1, terabyte, they're full. All that history of the past is gone. I said, is that a big fucking sign? Excuse me. I really wanted that information. They're like, try again. Oh, it's like when my building burned and all of my important stuff disappeared. Okay. Right side is that authority. I don't seem to have that authority. Other people just throw that shit out there. Don't give the consequences. They don't care if they look bad. There's all of these things. The card reading said that yin and yang are going to come into together. The male side is going to really learn some stuff. And when it does, then the yin and yang can start working together. My right side is my male side. Here's the funny part. I'm going to just say this. I'm right-handed, I'm right eye, right-handed, right leg, and right-brained. So I'm all right. But my x-ray shows that my left side has done all the work. My bones over here on this left side is stronger than the bones on the right. If you're a tennis player, your bone structure will be different than your right. If you are an athlete, your bone structure is going to be different. And it's like, wow. So I would, so these are all important things. To the point, Spirit says to me, we're going to have you look at another thing. I'm like, isn't there just, okay, quit bitching. So all of a sudden a pain hit. And I thought, oh my God, this is related to something, a memory. I can feel it. It has to do with my mother. It has to do what? So I called out to my mom. I said, Mom, I know you're good at manifesting. I said, so send me a sign, just so that I understand what it is that this piece is about. So I'm sitting there watching TV, and all of a sudden, it's like, vroom, 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 and these words were the only thing that stood out. The correlation between guilt and generosity. Wait, what? Mom? What? Hey, Alan, did you just hear that? And so then he says, yes. And so then all of a sudden we're talking about it. I paused the TV set and I said, that's my message from my mother. And all of a sudden I had this flood of how my mother raised me. I mean, I got this woman, always got her coffee, always got this, always got that. Do this, do that. I'm a generous person. And my husband was saying, well, why do you always, I love that you get me breakfast and do this for me. He says, but why do you always feel like you have to? I says, I don't feel like I have to. And then I had to sit back and say, what does he see that I don't see? And so then I call in spirit, and then all of a sudden spirit says, yes, you don't hear that little chatter. I says, all right, with grace and ease, let me hear this little chatter. And so one morning I'm getting up there and I'm getting my coffee, and all of a sudden it's like, oh, I got to get his. And then spirit goes, shh, and I went, well, what is that? A spiritual fart? What is that? I stopped for a second and I said, so I'm good. And again, it's the things you can't hear. It's so quiet. You're so used to. It's the autopilot. And I'm getting back to, I got to do that. Oh, the correlation is that I'm supposed to listen to something. Okay, so then the next step is that I consciously started to do just something for me. And as I started to do something for him, it was loud. And then I heard it. And then I woke up. And then I'm like, now I can't stop hearing how I have to. Those nasty little have tos, which are guilt. But I want to. No, that's different. Wow, my motivator needs to change. How interesting is that? And Spirit thought it was important that I begin to hear those little things that other people can't hear, and eventually I'm going to train you how to hear them. And it's all about asking. It's all about intention. And you may not like what you hear, because I love my mother, but to notice the guilt tripping, my mother would be so angry at my sister and say things about her that it would be like, what? Why would she say that? And of course, you don't want that to be said to you or her to ever see you in that light, that you hold back your ability to self-manifest. I never went to a school dance because my mother hated it. I never was able to commit to what I want is because somebody else would be disliking it. It would interfere with their time and space. I'd get whiny ass people that could come in and throw tantrums if they really wanted it their way. And it goes back to who will change whose behavior. So in the relationship of the second chakra, I have a lot to teach you. Just bear with me. Before we were born, we're going to just cut and switch. There's no segue, sorry. You have something that's called the strange flows, the radiant circuits that form you. And that is hardwired to joy. Okay, you with me? And then our meridians come in. And they tell the stories of your life, the adventures, the thoughts. You have a whole bunch of meridians that go over here and, it's about this story. You got the same meridians come over here and have to switch with your thinking and your time and your experiences of your life. And it has to go over and it shows you how, your physical. And and so the meridians are, so when I'm tapping into a particular thing, it is to listen to how the meridians, just for that set moment, is about a particular habit, a particular personality, a particular way of being. Now, you can heal that and you can create a domino effect, but sometimes you have to own up to, where are you? The cause or the effect? So when some shit happens to you, it is, why did I create that? Did I volunteer to be be that asshole for them to wake up or not wake up? Or because you ever think about those that have been, you watch movies and you see that they, the person, like for instance, is driving a car and then hits somebody. And then their whole life goes into a parallel of shutdown, turmoil, hell. Do you understand? Two souls have agreed. Two or more souls can agree. Because it's about this aspect of mirror of learning. And as you open your mind up and get out of the effects side of the equation, it's learning how to ask differently. I remember driving down the road and I pull out and I'm doing just fine. And then this black truck pulls out behind me and is pissed that I am not going to go faster or get out of his way. And so he deliberately starts to be an asshole. And then all of a sudden he disappears. And then he comes up and he took a side road. He had to boogie it. And he took a side road. He came in front of me and he deliberately cuts me off. And just about, I mean, if you took another foot, my front of my car would have been smashed. I thought, honestly, and of course, ego wanted to get mad. What the fuck are you doing that for? Why is he doing that? You're an asshole. Ah! I said, wait a minute. I'm expending too much of my energy. And then I called my energy back and I'm like, why? Am I just a response? Do I have to feel that people are attacking me? Do I need that belief? And so I learned to, yes, this happened, but why? Why did I put that there? What did I volunteer for? What is going on? Do I have to take it personal? When you start stepping your authenticity, you have to understand what stands before you is an alignment of to which you have thought, intentioned, you're in alignment with. Life's not happening to you, it's happening for you. It's happening based on you. And it's taking that certain responsibility. See, like this pain, it's like, what? So it's a freaking mystery. I mean, you should have seen my husband, I think was last year. He had something called an idiopathic thing they couldn't understand. His whole body was this big hive. But it was not your natural hive, but he's like, he couldn't do anything. As soon as you touched him, he's like, and they said, well, you may have to live with this for the rest of your life. And it's believing these diagnoses. And he comes home and I says, why are you believing something that they don't understand? So I sat there and worked on him. In 11 days, it disappeared. His way of thinking, he got information, he noticed what he called, what was about, and bam, we have to understand it has a lot to do with what we are aligned with. We just have to not separate ourselves. Ego wants you to be the victim. In this next part, all of October is huge. And I feel like I'm supposed to be doing this thing on 11/11. I haven't announced it completely yet because it's like, if this pain's here, well, so this week I'm going to figure out how well I can do. But we are starting to come into unity quick. We have to get out of that ego shithead. We have to get back into this alignment. It's coming back into this alignment, owning our power, not abusing our power, not withholding our power. Power is not like I'm going to conquer the world. No. Life force. So I started to trace, move energy, connect up to these radiant circuits that my head was in a freaking fog. I couldn't get the spoon to my mouth. And I said, this is it. I said, I am not going to live as this normalcy as what's called a human. So I asked Spirit, show me what I need to do. And all of a sudden I started to draw the energies. I could feel them in my mind. And the next thing I know, my hands are doing this energy thing. And the next thing I know, my head cleared up just like that, because I am put back the foundation that I had that I got displaced. It is your foundation. It is your core. So now I have to hold my core. I'm learning to build it every day. And as I do, you have something called a regulator flow. It regulates things in your body. You have a belt flow. These have to do with grounding. It has to do with, I mean, I don't want to give all this information because I'm running out of time, but you have the penetrating flow. This helps you to, for women, this is such a huge thing for women and men that don't have the ability to have their power. And so they feel like they can't leave their husbands or their wives, and they have to stay stuck there, and they don't feel strong, and they have all of these things. And when you start putting the energy of the penetrating flow in place, which I just drew the penetrating flow, and you put back that to which is yours, joy starts to pump through as your foundation. I did it twice. Okay. There was another time that I was like, oh, and Spirit says, get out of ego and draw. And I said, which one do you want? Now I have one, it's called the tie circuit. This one doesn't hold. My second chakra with the belt circuit doesn't hold. So I'm cut off in bits. And so I started to trace the energies. And as I traced the energies and I just kept tracing, all of a sudden my throat cleared. My second chakra, I felt the change. And lo and behold, the energy that's built up in your first and second chakra can start to go to your third and then go to the rest. And as I sat there, putting myself energetically back in my foundational core, I literally could feel the energy from the first, second, and third chakra go up my body, feed my fifth, sixth, and seventh, and come back to my heart. And all of a sudden, you'd swear to God, I had no issues at that moment. So I've been intentionally building my foundation the last 3 days, as well as educating myself so that I can create this class so that you guys do not have to be in a state of hell. This mystery is more to it. I will figure it out. I always do. Spirit always gives me something. And so there are metaphysical reasons that can help you logically make sense, because you need that. What the hell's going on? My world makes sense. And then when you start to get that metaphysical information with your higher self, not your ego self, not your anal self that's going to say blank, 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 blah, blah, blah. Okay, those are only temporary because your mind's going to go back around, try to find the answer again. When you start to get the answers, you start to get the knowing, you then start to get your power back. So, long story short, I'm getting better. It's just that it's a mystery pain. We don't know what it is. It's a lot of hell. But at the same time, that contrast is something that's important, because you could say pain is a karmic beliefs. They're engaged in guilt-based self-punishment, atonement seeking. They have a deep feeling of separation and sinfulness arising. Now, here's the thing. I will be in my spirit space. And if I let this pain, and I do mean let it, because if I allow myself to follow it, to chase it, to feel like it's pulling me by, let's say, a a tether. It owns me. I am separating myself further from spirit. I get myself out of high beta. I stop those nasty thoughts. I disrupt that type of thinking to get myself in the state of a different emotion. And when I download and keep staying in my spirit space and start to activate my strange flows, it does not own me. It's there. I'm not denying it. I'm not suppressing it. And these hidden, suppressed, subconscious, let's hide it from the human because she can't handle it as the kid, they're starting to come to the surface. And when you come to the rationalization with your spirit mind, you can understand deeper. But if you're going to take and just be in your ego mindset and go, my mother was a bitch, oh my God, I don't want to admit that. That's not, we're human. We think and we act and we do. It isn't about blaming our parents. It isn't about any of that stuff. So when I was shocked, my little girl self goes, holy crap, my mother was actually mean? No. I said, holy crap, my mother used what society said. This is how consciousness said that you're supposed to do. We have to get out of that state. My mother allowed my dad to beat us? No. It was part of that culture. And when she finally got enough balls for herself, she said, no more. You cannot hurt my children anymore. It isn't about anything other than the fact that you are waking up. So there can be so many reasons why there's pain. And like, for instance, one of the things pain can be is what's called repressed rage. They're sitting on a lot of resentment rage that they're afraid to express or act upon. I can tell you that that is more me. Being a little girl, always shutting up. And if you don't understand resentment, tell me how often you go talk and bitch in your head in silent brooding. And then you just put on a face, yeah, But there are metaphysical reasons. I am a metaphysical practitioner. This is the one thing that has always been consistent with me. If you start blaming, you're in the wrong business. You're not really a healer. But if you are going to see how they're connecting and how one may be direct and maybe one is indirect, and understand how to speak in an energy level and heal, you'll be amazed at how much further you will grow. We need you to wake up now. We need you to move in a new direction. Do you understand? We need you. Now, Beck, is she here?
What time is it on your end?
It says 12:46, but she's a half hour ahead or behind. I can't remember.
She's got a client right now.
Okay, so when she's ready, she'll let you know, and then we'll do this. So what we'll do is I'm double checking. So
okay. Gemma has paid for a reading.
Yep, I've got Gemma.
And Pilly has paid for 3 pay forwards.
Okay, so first on my list is Beck, but she'll come in. We'll weave her in. So it goes Gemma, Michelle. Oh no, Michelle must be paying for her thing. Yeah, so Gemma. So if you haven't paid tribal, pay tribal.
And say tribal, please. This brother doesn't get confused.
Yes, if you put in there that it's tribal, that's even healthier, happier, healthier, whatever. And then there's Ellen Schulman. What's this? Mm-hmm. But it's only $6.64. So she's donating. Do you know anything about that? Oh, that might be her. No, that's not her. Huh?
She said she was donating for a reading.
Okay, so Okay, so that's her there. So keep it in mind. I have to, because for purposes, I'm glad that she said that she was from New York, I think.
I wrote it down too.
Oh, excellent. But I also have to put the connection of how it shows up in, which what you don't have is the PayPal. So I got to figure out how to, wait a minute, Spirit says what? Okay, and then Pilly has done how many?
She said 3, but I don't know what price point she paid.
Oops.
Tell me when I can open my eyes so I don't get
Okay, sorry. Can you see that?
Okay, so she paid for...
I don't know. Let you do the math. My math is not in my head now. So good luck on that.
Out and let you know.
Okay.
And let her know.
Okay. So, why is this not sitting? I can't get Amy to look at there. Okay. So, we'll just do a couple extra minutes for Ellen. So she's new from what I can see. That's wonderful. So bear with me as we do this because I have to get back into routine. We are not going to have my Tuesday night show, which is your Tuesday morning show in the US and Canada, because everything is in a reset. Now, as you start to get into your spiritual awakening, you will start to learn what resets are. And if you do not follow them, you can have bitch slaps and harder lessons to learn. And so when you get into the space of learning how to grow, you'll be amazed. So we have
I will send the link to Gemma.
I am so confused of where I'm at here. There we go. Yes, get Gemma going.
You are in South Australia as far as I can tell.
Wait, what? Did I say something funny?
You said you didn't know where you were. I said,
oh, you goofy nut. Don't do that to me. I'm half here and half there. Okay.
I love you. I've missed you so bad.
I missed everybody. Now, I want you to understand I have had some brilliant things. We've had some pick-me-ups, and I told you Spirit knows exactly when to send it. Amy's been trying to send me this deck for like eons, and so it shows up as I'm in my misery. So, oh, well, that freaking doesn't help you. There we go. How's that? The chakra deck, and it's beautiful. So, I'm like, oh, yay. Okay, got him out, sat down, got him out, played. So I'm like all over the place, but it's beautiful. Now, before we go any further, take a look at these beautiful flowers. Thank you, Angela. And this is from my Scottish friend, my Scottish lass. Oh, I said it wrong. But anyways, aren't they gorgeous? Oh my God, you talk about, okay, so I'm trying to get myself going, not happening. Now, my other products that I got, which is help with the pain, is these beautiful oils and creams and roll-ons, and I'm not getting up, but they're over there. You can see them on my wall. So it was like Spirit says, hey, we want to support you to know that you can do this day. And I said, oh, I was so excited. And I'm going to have this just for a few minutes. Okay, just so you know. There's a reason